What you up to, Mr. Virile?
Well, Mr. Strong, my parents are coming to town for a visit.
Cool. What's the occasion?
We'll be meeting up with Miss Epicene's parents tomorrow. She and I have each met the other's parents, of course, but this will be the first meeting between our parents themselves. And just between us for now, I arranged this dinner meeting because after 9 months of dating, I bought Miss Epicene a wedding ring.
Ooh, neato! Oh, I think that might be them now.
Hey, it's my boy.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hi, son. How's it going?
It's going well, thank you.
It's been 20 years since your mom and I have last visited Dillydale.
And now we get to spend our next visit with you.
So, I guess it's time for introductions. Mom, Dad, this is my friend, Mr. Strong. Mr. Strong, these are my folks, Mr. Masculine and Miss Math.
Good day.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Strong.
Same to you, too.
I hear you're the only Mr. Man to ever beat my son in an arm wrestling match.
Yeah, that's true.
I was getting bored of always winning back home, so I was glad that he won the match, actually.
So you said that company is on its way, Miss Epicene?
That's right, Miss Helpful. My parents, to be precise.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that they're coming to meet Mr. Virile's parents tomorrow, right?
Correct. I've met them before, too. They're nice people.
Hey, is that my little girl?
Dad! Good to see you.
Mom will be here in a minute. She wanted to pick something up from the convenience store.
Okay, she can take her time.
So who's your friend?
Dad, this is Miss Helpful.
Howdy.
Greetings. My name is Mr. Plain.
Hey, Miss Epicene. There you are, Mom.
Yep, there she is. Miss Helpful, this is my wife, Miss Graceful.
Howdy, Miss Graceful.
I'm pleased to meet you, Miss Helpful.
Same to you.
I've heard from Miss Epicene that you've learned to be more helpful thanks to her.
Yeah, I try.
By any chance, do you know Mr. Virile?
I sure do. What a man. I even heard from Mr. Grumpy that he knocked a bear out with his bare hands.
Wow, that sure is an impressive feat.
He's definitely a keeper. What a man indeed. Well, Mom, Dad, if Miss Helpful is free, can she join us for lunch?
I don't see why not.
Of course, sweetie. What do you think, Miss Helpful?
I'd be delighted to.
So, I guess your specialty has to do with mathematics?
Indeed. I used to teach it in college, and am now retired. Just throw any advanced equation my way.
Alright. What's 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 7 plus 5 plus 1 plus 9 minus 2 minus 7 minus 8 minus 5 minus 4 minus 3 times 2 times 4 times 5 times 3 times 7 divided by 2 divided by 4 divided by 10 plus 2?
23.
Wow, really? I just came up with that on the fly.
Of course. I've had 60 years experience with arithmetic since I was 3, so that came naturally to me.
I actually spontaneously solved that exact same equation once as well.
That's quite intriguing, Mr. Impossible. And, how about you, sir?
Well, Mr. Strong, I've been a retired military veteran since my late 20s. Since then, I've worked my way up through the ranks in a steel mill, completing my career as company president before my retirement last year at age 65.
Sounds like you've had quite the work life.
I did. And soon after being honorably discharged from the Army, I met Miss Math. We got married a couple of years later. And then Mr. Virile came along 33 years ago.
You didn't want to name me Mr. Masculine Jr., right, Dad?
Right. Nor Mr. Masculine, too. But fortunately, I found the perfect synonym for masculine as well as strong in the thesaurus. Virile.
And he was always the most well-behaved student in school.
Thanks, Mom.
Motherly bias?
Nah, I'm not the only one to say that. His high school principal, Mr. Hargreaves, always said so.
His principals and teachers in elementary and middle school gave us similar reports.
It appears as though he was shaping up to be our Mr. Perfect.
But if you remember, I would stay up late many nights studying, which are only signs of me becoming a workaholic.
Maybe, but you've been able to overcome that.
In the past few years, anyway. My assistant, Mr. Clever, would inform me when it was 9 p.m. and I hadn't eaten before then.
Oh, yeah. And that cost you your relationship with... What was her name again?
Miss Tidy.
Right, Miss Tidy.
Ah, well, at least that mistake taught me a lesson in straightening out my priorities.
That's a good way of looking at it.
I can see why you dated her, though. You both favor cleanliness.
In any case, Miss Epicene has been a fine young lass.
All right. 1 number 1 medium hamburger combo, plain and dry. 1 number 4 small grilled chicken sandwich combo. 1 number 3 medium crispy chicken sandwich combo. And 1 number 1 medium deluxe combo. Coming right up. So I guess you like your hamburgers plain, Mr. Plain?
Not just burgers, Miss Helpful. Everything, basically. Plain cheese pizza, plain Cheerios, plain vanilla ice cream, etc., etc.
All that extra stuff tends to overwhelm him. Though since we dated decades ago, I have encouraged him to give some small additions a try.
How's that?
Well, for example, he used to be clean-shaven. And when I told him he would look good with facial hair, he grew a mustache. In Dad's case, a lampshade mustache. I didn't know there was a name for it. Yeah, though I don't think he would have considered it if anyone else suggested it.
I think you're right, Miss Epicene. Mom's always been gentle and dainty in her ways, so I guess you can't say no to her suggestions.
True. I couldn't slam a door to save my life. Like if we were to have an argument, and I'd be frustrated enough to slam a door, I'd still end up gently closing it. I've tried with all my strength to slam doors in case of emergency, but my efforts were in vain.
And I'm guessing that you sneeze like a kitten?
Yes, actually.
Am I correct to assume that y'all are retired?
Yes,
Of course.
I worked plenty of odd jobs in my youth, but was most comfortable working in a mailroom.
I was a ballet instructor and did photography on the side. Miss Epicene gets that from me.
And just last month, we celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary.
Ooh, congratulations!
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think I smell our food coming.
And I see it coming.
Goody.
Alrighty, let's eat.
On this fine Saturday evening, Mr. Virile can finally introduce his parents to Miss Epicine's parents at a gourmet restaurant.
Do you guys always have a narrator?
Of course, Mr. Virile. Though nowadays he usually just narrates transitions, kind of like Mr. Squarepants.
Huh. Odd.
Anyway, so you're gonna pop the question to Miss Epicene tonight?
Of course, Mr. Happy. And like the narrator said, each of our parents will be here to witness it too.
Wonderful!
Indeed.
That reminds me that I might just eventually propose to Miss Giggles as well.
Oh yeah, Miss Giggles. Miss Epicene said she was her waitress yesterday.
I better get going. I'll be meeting up with Mr. Half and Mr. Strong at a football game. I hope your night turns out well, Mr. Virile.
I appreciate it, Mr. Happy. I hope you guys have fun.
5 minutes later...
Good to see you again, Mr. Virile.
And the same goes to you, Mr. Plain.
Good evening, Mr. Virile.
Good evening, Miss Epicene.
So, about when will your parents be here?
They should be here momentarily. Oh, here they are now.
So you must be Miss Epicine's folks.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Mr. Plain.
And I'm Miss Graceful.
I'm Mr. Masculine, and this is my wife, Miss Math.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
My pleasure, Miss Graceful.
All right. Table for 6, Mr. Virile?
That sounds right, Mr. Cheerful.
Oh, goody! Right this way, please.
You know, I just realized something. Did you attend Valleyville Middle School?
Why, yes, I did.
Were you that same kid who pushed out a school bus that crashed into a classroom that one time?
Yes, I remember doing that over 50 years ago.
Wow, I knew you looked familiar. I didn't get your name all those years ago, but it's nice to finally learn it while we're here with our wives and grown kids.
Yeah, funny how that all worked out.
It really shows how much Mr. Virile turned out to be a chip off the old block.
Thank you kindly, Mr. Plain.
You're welcome, Mr. Masculine.
So, what was your time back in Valleyville Middle School like?
Well, I don't remember anything noteworthy from my childhood. As my name indicates, I've been more or less a regular guy who likes the most minimal of things. I wasn't even that sociable back then either. I just went to school, did all my assignments, came back home, watched TV, and that was it.
Well, that all sounds better than being mischievous, or even a bully.
Oh, for sure. Though after one kid talked with me, I think I overheard him refer to me as Mr. Boring.
Perhaps he might have thought you'd be too boring to start a family. But it's clear that you beat those odds, regardless of those unfavorable perceptions.
I'm glad it turned out that way.
So, Miss Math, have you heard about how Mr. Virile was able to use his strength against a bear recently?
Oh, that was far from his first rodeo, Miss Graceful. Mr. Masculine would always take him fishing as a kid, and one time when he was 13 and they caught a fish after a long wait, a bear came along trying to steal it. But Mr. Virile wasn't having any of that and just punched it across the lake.
Oh, he was only 13. Now, that's quite remarkable.
Oh, yes. Naturally, I was worried he might have been hurt at first, but was relieved when I saw that there wasn't a single scratch on him.
Oh, sure, that's valid. I felt the same way when Miss Epicene appeared to get up close to a huge beehive just to take a picture. Thankfully, though, she wasn't as close as I thought.
Ah, so we've both had daring and courageous kids.
Yes. And since I've heard about how he always treated Miss Epicene like a lady, how he'd take note of all the little things she likes, and how he'd remain by her side even through the worst times, I've been sure that he's her future husband.
And it helps that he once saved another little miss from some mean old man who almost seriously hurt her.
He really is a great guy. Miss Epicene would always tell us many things over the phone of how useful he'd be with many of the citizens of Dillydale.
I could tell you many stories of how he's always been that way since he was a boy back in Tollytown.
I think I've heard of Tollytown. Where's that?
Oh, it's a 15-minute drive from here, and somewhere in the middle between Dillydale and Mr. Masculine's hometown of Valleyville.
Oh, okay. Mr. Plain and I live in Valleyville.
Oh, nice. I used to be a professor at Valleyville University.
Oh, so you used to teach too. For me, it was ballet at the local high school.
You might have guessed that I taught calculus.
If there's one thing Miss Epicene hated since her teenage days, it's advanced math.
If I turn out to be her future mother-in-law, then it's true what they say. God really does have a sense of humor.
So, Miss Epicene, we've known each other for a year now, right?
That's right, Mr. Virile. Exactly 1 year ago on this very day.
Then we've been dating for 9 months now.
That sounds about right.
And not only have we enjoyed each other's company, but so have each of our parents. And each of you are enjoying one another's company now, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You got that right, son.
I am indeed having a good time, Mr. Virile.
Well, in that case, while I have your collective attention, I have a big question. Miss Epicene, will you marry me?
Yes, just let me pinch myself. Ow! Okay, I'm most certainly not dreaming now.
And one more question. Do you think we could go to the courthouse within the next week, and then hold a reception a year after that for the pictures?
Sure, That sounds like a good plan.
And so, Mr. Virile, Miss Epicene, and their accompanying folks further discuss the future of their upcoming wedding over a gourmet dinner.
You do realize that you're narrating in real time, right?
Of course, Mr. Virile. That was just part of the script.
Alright. What's 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 7 plus 5 plus 1 minus...
No, the minus doesn't come until after the 9.
So, Miss Epicene, we've known each other for over a year now, right?
No, not over a year, for 1 year exactly, as Ms. Epicene confirms.